Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. So we are here in 3D, Monday through Friday, from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock. The water collects in a natural artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the cap. Fiji water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. So I'm going to give everyone a warning now. The reason that I'm laughing, I'm chuckling to myself, is because before I got on the air, I said I'm probably going to need to drink some Fiji water before this broadcast is over because I'm suffering with my allergies today, but to God be the glory. Here we are in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. And I want to thank all of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life Delaware. We don't take that for granted. And those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast on our contribution page on our website at newlifeministriesinternational.com, we thank you for your support and your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted. So I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your husband is always complaining that you are doing things the hard way. He is constantly trying to get you to do things differently than you would like to do them. Okay, so let me begin by just simply saying this, and then I'm going to expound on this further. Efficiency is one of the keys to success. So long ago I shared one of the things my grandfather told me, God rest his soul, is that consistency and longevity were two of the keys to success. What I later found out as I became older myself in life, I found that he gave me two of the keys, but two of the other keys are effectiveness and efficiency. So we have to really focus on being efficient in our everyday lives, both personally and professionally, which means we cannot afford, because there's a time value to money. We have to recognize that every second of every day has value. There is profit built into that second, to that minute, to that hour, to that day, to that week, to that month, and to each year. So think about this. There's a reason when they are calculating the assets of individuals, their net worth, their high net worth, their assets, they will break it down in how much money they make per day, how much money they make per hour, and sometimes how much money, depending on whose article you're reading, they are making every second of every day. Again, because there's a time value to money. So we have to recognize that every second of every day costs us something. It may be just something as simple as it's costing you another second of life. But the reality is that there's a much bigger picture. And because there's a value to that time, if we're wasting time, we're wasting money. Everything we do, we should be looking for the most efficient way to do it. We're not talking about taking shortcuts. I'm not one for taking shortcuts. I'm not talking about, trying to manipulate the system. I'm talking about genuine efficiency. I'm going to look at what needs to be done, and I'm going to make a decision on what minute of the day, what hour of the day, what day it needs to take place, what week it needs to take place, what month it needs to take place, and do I even, what quarter or what year? Does it even need to be something that needs to be addressed this year? I'm going to look at all those components. And because I'm looking at all those components, I'm not wasting time. I'm determining the most efficient method to do what needs to be done. Your husband is really not complaining. He's providing you with knowledge. He's providing you with wisdom. He's providing you with understanding. Okay, if you're doing things this way and it's taking you twice as long to get something accomplished, you're not being efficient. And if you're not being efficient, you're not being effective. We do things the same way because it's familiar to us. Not because it's giving us the best result, but because it's familiar to us. He's asking you to do things differently, which means he's asking you to develop a new methodology for doing something. We think as individuals, let me expound on this, that the moment we think of something, we need to do it immediately, and we're going to always, when we're looking for a direct response, we're going to always default to what's familiar. We've got to make a change in that. We've got to develop and analyze the decisions we're making to be efficient. Then we have to have an implementation strategy that is going to be most efficient and that's going to get the best long-term result. Not just immediate gratification that I got this done, not just I can check that box and check it off my list, because it may not be the best method. It may not lead to the best long-term result. So we really have to put some work into this. And you say he's complaining about it, you say he's always complaining about it. Well, that implies that you've been always doing the same thing the same way for a very long period of time. And what he has seen is that it's not getting the best result. So he's trying to encourage you to develop new methodology, do some things differently. He wouldn't be complaining constantly if you weren't doing things constantly the same way, by the same method. So sometimes we've got to take into consideration what's going to be more efficient. What's going to be more effective? Does it lead to long-term success? Because the one thing we don't want is short-term success. Now you might say, well, Pastor, there are some things that I'd like to have short-term success. I'd like to take my car to the dealership and get it serviced and it to be successful with everything being checked out, and I can leave and go home for another year. Okay. That may appear to be short-term success, but the reality is if you hadn't taken it to get it serviced, the long-term life of your car wouldn't be valuable. So we've got to think about even the smallest of things. Everything in our life has to be done with effectiveness and efficiency so that we can maximize the quality of our lives. First thing we want to do is experience a great quality of life, but then we have to maximize that. So we've got to be thinking at all times. And when I say that, meaning this, you really need to focus on one thing at a time. So that's going to help you be more effective. We talked about being efficient, making certain that we're not wasting 1 second of our time. And we have to say to ourselves, okay, so how am I going to be more effective? And the way that we become more effective, believe it or not, the way we become more effective is focusing on one thing at a time. Because if you're focusing on more than one thing at a time, neither of them are going to get done correctly. And neither of them are going to result in 100% for long-term benefit. So we've got to really allocate our time effectively and efficiently. Never cut corners. We're not looking to cut corners. We're just looking for the best method to be effective and efficient. So one of your husband's issues, you didn't tell me this in your communication, but I'm going to tell you what God showed me in the secret place of your life. One of your husband's issues has become that you're trying to do 6 things at one time. Your mind is racing with everything you think needs to be done, but in reality, it's things that you want to get done. And everything that you want to get done doesn't need to be. Listen, all things are lawful for you. You get to make the decision. But all things are not expedient for you. All things don't need to be done immediately just because they popped into your mind. Because there's other things that need to be done. You've got to prioritize. You've got to prioritize what you need to accomplish every hour of every day, and then you break it down into, I've got this portion of it, this segment of it that can be done from 12:30 to 12:45. This segment of it can be done from 12:45 to 1 o'clock. This segment can be done from 1 to 1:15. This segment can be done from 1 to 1:30. If you know you need to do something within the hour, that's how you break it down. And then you can work on the small aspects of what am I doing to make certain that this is effective and efficient. And if you do that, your husband will complain less according to your standard of complaints. Your husband will not find it necessary to keep pouring out wisdom and understanding to you and you not receiving it from the spirit in which it's intended. He's just trying to make everyone better, including his spouse, including his wife. He found you, he found a good thing and obtained favor of the Lord. The favor is that you and he will experience a great quality of life, will experience the fullness of God in all of your lives, instead of chasing an illusion of what you think is the right way. Remember this, and this is going to take me into another communication, but remember this: not your way, God's way. Not your will, but his will be done. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees will be included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your siblings make you feel self-conscious about your success. However, you really desire to pursue more success and you don't want to feel guilty about being even more successful when they're already making you feel self-conscious about your success. So let me say this. This is not the first time I've heard something similar to this. This is not a isolated circumstance or issue of life. And the reason I'm saying that to you is because I want you to know it's not that your siblings are bad people. They just have the wrong state of mind. So you have siblings who are not having as much professional success as you are having. They're not having the best quality of life that you're experiencing. And so consequently, when you are around them, they make you feel self-conscious about your success. They talk about, how you've been given a lot of opportunity, when in fact, you haven't been given anything. You've worked for every opportunity. You've put yourself in position to experience success, and you worked for your success. And to God be the glory. So what you have to do is stop allowing the jealousy of others to delay or disrupt your deserved success. Now let me explain to you what that means. When you allow the Lord to rule over your life and you live your life to follow His path, you didn't choose a career, God chose the career for you. And what I mean by that is you allowed your gifts to make room for themselves. That's a problem for most people. Most people do not allow their gift to make room for itself. Most people, and I encourage students to really determine what career they would like to pursue. But what they don't know is behind closed doors, I'm praying for God to reveal to them what they are. The students in our Achievers Academy, I'm constantly praying that God will reveal to them what He wants for their lives. So here's what we have happen. They will choose a career and then begin to research it. And then God will make whatever changes He wants within your spirit. Okay, this is what I would like. I'll give you an example. When I was in middle school, I wanted to be an architect. By the time I got to high school, I decided I liked money. I didn't want to just design buildings. I wanted to someday own them. And the reality is that God will make the changes in your spirit if you are open to being changed. So I lived my whole life, and now, this year I'm celebrating 20 years of being licensed and ordained as a pastor. This is a second career for me. And it's because God made a change, a shift. Well, our gifts have to make room for ourselves. If we focus on the gift that's inside of us and not on what we want to do. Let me broaden the example. There are people who say, I want to go into business, I want to open a shop because they think that it will give them more flexibility, more freedom, and they'll make more money. Well, being a business owner isn't about flexibility, it isn't about freedom, it isn't about more money, it's about more responsibility, because to whom much is given, much is required. So we have to recognize that. And then what we have to say to ourselves is, if I'm working diligently every single day, if I'm working and learning to allow my gift to make room for itself, if I am open to becoming a better version of myself consistently, God will reveal to me exactly what he wants me to do with my life. And then when I begin to practice that, when I begin to implement that and practice it consistently, performing the task, working in your field, when you begin to do those things and you begin to be diligent in the process, success will come. There will be stages of success. There'll be levels of success. Success will come. And if you've done everything that you know that you can do to be successful, why would you be concerned about the jealousy of others? Why would you even care about the jealousies of others that will delay or disrupt your success? Because you'll begin then to start to do things that are going to be detrimental to your success. So we've got to be real careful about that also. We have to make certain that everything we're doing every single day lines up with God's way and God's will so that we can get to the place that God has appointed for each of our lives. And here's what I'm going to say to all of our listeners and viewers. Don't be afraid to succeed because others feel they're going to be left behind. Don't allow other people to dim your light so that their light may shine. You cannot delay or disrupt the success that God has for you because you cannot be an example to them on how to improve the quality of their life. As they see you grow and go, they too will want to go, and therefore it should help them grow. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, check for their store hours. Stop in at their retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need. They have shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have stores on Fifth Avenue in New York and at the Short Hills Mall in Short Hills, New Jersey. If you are in either of those areas, check for their store hours. Stop in at their retail stores. They have everything that you could possibly need. Home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in any of those areas, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are having a difficult time making a decision about taking a new position or remaining right where you are, and you want to know what should you do. So again, this is why I said it previously, it will take me into a new communication because, listen, stay where you are right now until the right opportunity comes along. I've heard this from people. Some people needed to go to the next phase or the next level. Some people need to stay right where you are. When you line your way up and your will up with God's way and God's will, sometimes you have to wait on the Lord, and you have to wait on Him to guide you into the opportunity that He has appointed for your life, the right opportunity, the right way. So be still. Often we do things, we do things in our career that we do for a long time. We feel like we need to change. We feel like we want to change. And so therefore we decide to make a change. And because it's within God's permissive will, we go to the new position and we start all over again. Now, your situation is not where there's a problem, and sometimes I tell people, if you've been to 3 different places and there's a problem everywhere you go, the only common denominator is you. That's not your issue. Your issue isn't that you're creating problems. The issue isn't that you have a problem. The issue is that you feel that you're ready to make a change. Well, I'm here to tell you today that change is not what God has for you right now. The only thing that you need to do right now is to become the very best version of you that you can become right now. That's the first thing you need to do. Stop the madness. Stop doing things that you know are not conducive for you to be successful. Stop doing things just enough to get by. Stop doing things because you've been doing it for so long you could do it in your sleep. That's a good thing, but it's also not allowing you to become the best version of yourself. So you have to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to stop the madness, and I'm going to do everything I need to do right where I am right now. And I'm going to do it so that I can become a better version of myself. And when God opens a new door of opportunity for you, you'll be prepared for the opportunity. So I'm going to use the New Life logo, not the Daily Divine Direction broadcast logo, but the logo for our church and our Achievers Academy and for all the other activities, social activities that we do. So what that looks like is this. There's 2 arrows that come together. And then there's a background that goes with this. But it's 2 arrows that come together. And so everyone knows this. New life means just that. New life. New relationship with the Lord. The 2 arrows represent, in the Christian faith, represent salvation and eternal life coming together. That moment of resurrection, which is new life. Okay. Within our Achievers Academy, and our community development, it means opportunity and preparation being merged together. So we have to prepare for opportunity. We have to prepare to position ourselves for opportunity. And we have to prepare ourselves to, listen to this, be ready to move into our opportunities. Remember, new mercies every day, new opportunities with new potential to do great things. But we have to be ready for that. You can't just walk into it. Now, I know some people think they can. Some people think, oh, I can walk right into this and I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. Yes, you can. But here's the reality. You've got to be prepared. You've got to prepare yourself. And the way to be prepared is that the more you do something the right way, the more consistently you do something the right way for 10,000 hours, you can then master it. You can then become the very best version of yourself. And then you can be prepared to move to the next level. You can be prepared for the next level. And that's what we really want, is to be prepared for the next level in Christ, that we can accomplish everything that God has appointed for our lives, that we can experience success, that we can maximize our success, and that we can experience the fullness of God in all of our lives. We have to recognize the importance of doing things the right way, taking advantage of the right opportunities, maximizing the right opportunities, and experiencing God experiencing the fullness of God in all of our lives. We don't want to just catch particles. We want the fullness of God and then maximize that. So be still, wait on the Lord until the right opportunity is provided to you by God. And you will be truly blessed. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered